So it says, as we all know, the mustard seed is the smallest of all seeds on earth.
Right.
So it's comparing the mustard seed to a set criteria, which is seeds.
But what is the intent of what he's saying? Is it to make a claim about the mustard seed?
Sure.
Or is he doing it as a way of making an allegory about faith?
Sure. But like my example that I gave, so as we all know, the peregrine falcon is the smallest of all birds, yet when it flies, it's the fastest of all birds.
Right.
Likewise, these disciples are very small in number, but they will go on and spread the message fast. So in that version, I believe, in my personal view, I'm factually incorrect in the first part of that statement. And I believe anyone in the park or anyone anywhere can correct me on that.
But there are plenty of idioms that aren't factually true, but people accept them in the language for conveying truth. So, for example, I once heard from the horse's mouth that. Now, I didn't really go up to a horse and hear from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
But
that's like something you're expressing, right?
Right, yeah. But it's still a claim.
Jesus in the New Testament
Yeah.
is saying, as we all know. So he's making like a more of an objective statement.
Do you have like a problem with the idea of all? Do you think he's? Well, is there because you keep adding that bit, and I don't see how it adds to it.
It's there.
No, I believe it's there, but
Yeah.
really, the thing is, the mustard seed is the smallest of all seeds in the world. That's a problem, right? Not the first bit.
The reason I'm bringing in all.
Yeah, God bless you, man.
Is because I feel like when it says, as we all know,
Yeah.
the mustard seed. So it's saying, as we all know, I feel makes it a factual statement, because he's saying in every possible conceivable way of understanding this statement, it's going to be true.
Well, we can give examples of that in English, but that's not true. Like I can say everyone knows that John is the best person, but that doesn't mean I literally think everyone knows. I'm just using it as a way as overemphasizing or pointing to the people around me, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But don't get me wrong. I think it's possible. Well,
Is there any way of understanding, like, as we all know, John is the smallest person out of all the people in the world? That's more of a comparison for me.
Of course it is. It's poetic language. I could be saying, you know how small John is. That's basically what I'm saying. It's common to do this. Like, it's common in this language.
I understand. As we all know, John is a small person.
Yeah.
Like,
And I could even say he's the smallest of all people.
John is the smallest person, or
Smallest of all people. You can do that as an expression to exaggerate your claim, to illustrate just how small that person is. Just how Jesus was doing it to illustrate just how small the mustard seed is.
Okay, just
which is
imagine an
fair.
annoying version of me back then, right? In the first century AD,
Right.
and I'm like, and he's of Jesus preaching.
Yeah, and you're like, wait, you
and
mean?
I'm like, yeah, wait. So
Right.
what do you think about that scenario and how that plays out?
I don't think there would have been anyone there who was thinking he's making a claim of like science. I don't think that's. I reject concordanism. I'm not a concordist. I don't think that you can find science in the Bible and the first 10 words of the Bible are actually God's way of illustrating scientific proof of the Big Bang. Like I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, and yeah. Well, I mean.
But the reason I brought up that in the previous discussion was because I felt like the person I was talking to did use science at some point, which I may have misunderstood. So that's just the reason why.
That's fine. You might not agree with what I'm saying, but I think we've both gone through this, and unless you want to add anything.
Just one more question that I was wondering in terms of, like, in your opinion, I'm just thinking of a good question.
That's fine. No, yeah, take your time, man. I'm going to check my phone for a bit.
So, in that same video, I think I raised that ridiculous topic of aliens, but I felt like
you raised what? Sorry.
Like, I don't know if you covered that part.
There are parts because it was a long thing. You guys were talking it was divided into parts, and I saw parts of it, so I might honestly know.
So it was just when I said, like, does David see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as referring to the same God that Christians see in Yahweh? I'm not saying that we have the same understanding of that God, but we're referring to the same God. We have different concepts of related to that God, which we disagree with. But do you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as talking about the same being? When we refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we're talking about the same being.
Well, let me explain. So there are two ways of looking at the word Allah. So Allah can just be the Arabic term for God, in which case Christians say that.
Sure.
So, but there's another way of looking at it, which is, and if you go to Google define Allah, one of the definitions will be the Islamic God, the God of Islam. Yeah? That would be the definition I'd take issue with. I don't think they're the same God. I think the reason why is because there are changes fundamentally to the nature of God that Islam says that I reject as a Christian. And I would also say generally just because the revelation that supposedly he revealed I also reject. So
Okay, so like one of the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Qayyum, which means the self-existing. So
Okay.
that kind of correlates with the meaning of Yahweh.
yeah. I would agree with some of that, like Al-Haq, the truth.
Yeah.
We agree on stuff like that. But when you say things like, as
So,
an,
because a lot of Christians, I feel like I've come across in the park, they say like because Islam is not coming with the word Yahweh, a Hebrew tetragram, we're by definition wrong.
it is that way. So basically, in Deuteronomy 18, basically it talks about how there will be a prophet who will come. Now Christians will say this is Jesus. Muslims will often say it's Muhammad. The problem is though there are two. I don't know if you heard this, but one is
Deuteronomy 18.
yeah, Deuteronomy 18. I'll show you if you want.
No, I think I've got it.
Okay, well you can watch it back and you can see the reference. But basically, it's saying there's going to be coming someone like Moses from within your brethren, and within your brethren, everywhere else is basically meaning the Israelites. And that, of course, obviously is a problem if you say it's Muhammad, because Muhammad came from Ishmael, not Isaac. And the other one is that, and he will come in the name of the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, Yahweh.
Okay.
Which, of course, again is problematic if Allah never says that. But here's the thing, you could actually make a claim he kind of did. You could say, well, actually, we affirm, for example, or Yahya, John in the Quran, Yahya. Well, Yahya, the actual term, derives from something that has an ending which means the God of Yahweh. So within the name itself, they're taking something that does mean the God of Yahweh. Now, my understanding from Islam is that Muslims wouldn't say that Allah's name is Yahweh or Jehovah. Or,
But like that name to the Jewish people means something. It's not just a name, right? It's like it means the self-existing, the eternal one. So
yeah, but it is him.
Al-Qayyum
Yeah.
also means the same thing to Arabs. So like it's coming in the same kind of way. So, I mean,
Well, could you call Allah Yahweh?
but like that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I went to the alien topic. So that makes sense because then if God is revealing Himself to aliens,
Yeah.
is He going to be using a Hebrew tetragram, or is He going to use a language that the aliens can understand? See, so like if they have some inspiration in their planet, He's not going to come with a Hebrew tetragram, right? Which is what the Dave was saying. He's going to come with a language that they understand. And the same kind of, I don't see anything wrong with that in the Christian worldview. The same way, He's going to come to Arabs with a word that they understand. That can relate to the same meaning
I
that Yahweh
definitely
does.
agree with you, because we kind of have a thing where our New Testament is in Greek. So when they wrote the Greek and they wrote the Greek Septuagint, they didn't actually want
the
to
word
translate.
Yahweh,
Yeah, they didn't use that word, the Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. They translated it as Lord. I believe it's either Adonai or Kyrios. I believe it's Kyrios, but I could be wrong. And that's why in the New Testament you keep hearing God being called Lord, like Kyrios. It's not like they're not literally switching to writing Hebrew, so you're correct there. But for us, we do have to affirm what His name is. We do have to say. So when Jesus, when He was speaking, He would have spoken Aramaic predominantly, and He would have said he would have said the name, like He would have affirmed that was the name. If someone asked Him what is the name, then He would have said the
That
name.
could have been for the cultural context of the time, right? Like He's saying Yahweh because that was a word that was a name that was known to the people of His area. Whereas like if you go to Saudi Arabia, like President Saudi
Sure,
Arabia,
but I mean, like I'm an Englishman, right? So, but all this is foreign to me, and yet I know the name. I know Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, right?
that's what I'm trying to establish. So like if aliens have their own understanding of God, do you say that God, when they're communicating with you, they have to come in the name of Yahweh?
Yeah, they would, yeah. So we believe Jesus did, as He affirmed that Yahweh was His
they
Father.
have to like utter Yahweh.
Well, they would have. They couldn't.
You see what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they couldn't deny it. Yeah, but my understanding is in Orthodox Sunni Islam, Muslims would say no, His name is not Yahweh.
no, because we affirm that the meaning of that name being self-existing, the eternal one. So that's what I mean.
Well,
yeah,
I mean, the issue is anyone could do that. Like a pagan could be like, yeah, we affirm Yahweh. We don't say it, but what we mean is we affirm that He's the truth and He's, you know what I mean?
But I think that the thing about coming in His name, that's not talking about everything. That's just talking about like that's one part of what that prophet's going to do. So
Sure, but if they don't do it, then they aren't a prophet. Or if they explicitly don't, if they explicitly say that's not His name, then it's another god.
Are you saying like? Sorry for go ahead.
No, that's right. Yeah.
Are you saying that, like an alien, if for some reason God's given them divine inspiration, they can't come in any other name but that name?
That's an interesting point. But what I would say is, I would actually check hypotheticals. Because the issue with hypotheticals is, I can come up with hypotheticals to you about Islam, and you'd be like, wait, that's kind of not.
It's not like a hypothetical that's attacking Christianity. This is
well,
like
it's about aliens. Like,
that
really,
could apply to Islam and Christianity.
Yeah, it can. But I think using aliens is an odd one. Use like a foreign culture or something.
Okay, sure.
I mean, that to me seems more realistic and grounded.
So the new world was cut off from the old world for ages, right? Say if God, I mean, it's going to be hypothetical. Like say if God revealed himself in the new world before they had contact with the old world.
Yeah.
Does that mean the new world, the word had to be Yahweh in the way that God revealed himself to that people?
Yes, yeah. That had to be the intentionality, yeah.
But then why does the alien thing not work either?
Well, because we don't know aliens exist. But my point is, when you invoke aliens, it's a bit like, maybe you're right, maybe the analogy is fair because, I guess it is. It's just that when you talk about things like aliens, you get, you know what I mean?
I know it sounds big, but like that's the reason because I want to draw it to its full conclusion. So.
Like I remember I had a debate with someone about abortion, just real quick, and they were saying like, well, you say it's wrong to kill human beings, but what if dogs in the future could transform into human beings? And I was like, what? Sometimes the hypotheticals can be not conductive. But I agree that maybe aliens was conductive. I think maybe that's fine.
Thanks so much. Really
Yeah, you happy with that? All right. One day I would love to have a chat with you about other things as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you're a pleasure to speak with.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I think a bit earlier in part with some Christians and I got a bit heated, but I don't like those conversations. And like I mentioned last time, like my main purpose isn't for conflict. Like I actually want to talk about things that unite us both as a community. So
that's cool. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot in the Bible. Actually, there's some other stuff as well, but maybe that's good thing to talk about next time, like some of the unification points of Islam and Christianity.
Sure.
This, I'm not sure if you know if we could talk about it next time, like Zechariah 11:17, I think. It talks about like a worthless shepherd.
Right.
Who has a crooked arm and like one eye.
Oh, are you gonna make associations with the jar?
Yeah, I was gonna say so. Like kind of like we have the same enemy in the long run, and like in that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, so I'm all right with working with Muslims for common objectives.
Yeah.
The issue is fundamentally we can never come together as one, like permanently. And it's the same with the rabbinic Jews. Like I can't ever, because our theology doesn't allow us to. You know what I mean? Like you're going to talk about Muhammad, and I'm going to talk about way. You know, but that's what it's always going to come down to. But you know, there's always room for interfaith dialogue and compassion, and also agreement in areas. I mean, we probably have the same view on LGBT stuff, for example.
Probably. It's something I'm trying to avoid to talk about here.
Oh, fair enough, yeah. Especially during Pride Month. It's Pride Month now, yeah. Anyway, God bless you, man. Take care.
Take care, man.
Sorry, I won't say his name. I feel really bad now. Wow, I just had, not with these ridiculous glasses, but I just had a really good conversation with a Muslim man who was very calm, very relaxed, really good character, held himself really well, quite clearly an intellectual. We were discussing things about Christianity, about what it means to talk about the mustard seed that Jesus uses in a parable, whether that could be something that can be understood in a literal sense, in a scientific sense. What does it mean to say that that's factual? We went through that, and I think we came to what I would say is a good conclusion. We hopefully will have further dialogue in future, but God bless. Anyone who's watching this, if you're a Muslim or if you're a non-Christian, then look into Jesus, come to Jesus Christ. It's the way, the truth, and the life. God bless you all. Take care.